Good. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Wilton Town Board, March 2022, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Now. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, can we do a roll call?
Supervisor Grant is excused.
What's his excuse?
Deputy Supervisor McEachran.
Here.
Councilman Bogardis. Here. Councilwoman Galgan. Here. Councilman O'Connor.
Here. Thank you. Anyone signed up for public comment? Get a motion to approve the pending minutes.
I'll make a motion we approve the last month's town board meeting minutes.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. We have a...
No.
Public comment.
That's public comment?
That was the public nuisance.
We have a proclamation for Kurt Woodcock.
Wait 1 minute till his daughter gets here.
Oh.
He's on Traver Road right now.
Oh, no problem. That proclamation can wait. You can just skip it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Camp Saratoga Delegation Pond Fishing Program.
Just need a motion to...
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
She's here.
She's here. Okay. We'll get back to the proclamation for Kirkland Woodcock.
Wait, are you ready now? All right.
Kurt, would you want to come up, please? Kurt, can you come up with your family?
Maybe the family doesn't want to be seen. You know what? Sure. Today I went to open all that stuff. All I got was this.
That's what I got too, the two different pictures. I was trying to go back and forth to see what the difference was.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Who's going to read the proclamation?
If I didn't talk
Whereas
about it
Kirkland
beforehand, I
Woodcock,
wouldn't.
Superintendent of Highways for the town of Wilton, has announced his retirement after 33 years of service. And whereas Kirkland Woodcock began his career in 1968 with the town of Wilton, serving as a motor equipment operator.
I was 7 years old.
And whereas Kirkland Woodcock served on the town board from 1980 to 1983, and whereas Kirkland Woodcock resigned from the town board to serve as acting highway superintendent to complete the term of office vacated by Ken Fowler. And whereas Kirkland Woodcock was elected as highway superintendent and took office on January 1st, 1988. And whereas in 2002, Kirkland Woodcock led the way in rebuilding the highway department after fire destroyed the highway garage and equipment. And whereas Kirkland Woodcock will be remembered as a dedicated and compassionate leader committed to his employees and serving the residents of the town of Wilton. And whereas Kirkland Woodcock, in addition to his dedication as highway superintendent, he was essential in developing the Saratoga County Town Highway Superintendents Association and sponsored fundraising to send children to the Double H Ranch Camp in Lake Luzerne, New York. And whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by Kirkland Woodcock to the town of Wilton throughout his public service. And whereas retirement is not the end of the road, it is the beginning of the open highway. And proclaim that the Wilton Town Board honors and expresses its most sincere appreciation to Kirkland Woodcock for his years of dedication and service to the town of Wilton and its residents. And proclaim that the town clerk duly forward and scroll copy of this proclamation of commendation to Kirkland Woodcock.
Don't let them make it speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you. Have a seat.
Thank you, everybody. You know, it's been a long road. Thanks to my family, my wife, my daughter,
You know, my son-in-law, Dr. George, and my granddaughter Caitlin, she's at MIT right now getting her master's in May, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So that's really, I appreciate that whole good. She's done well with that. But, you know, some of you younger people don't remember the dirt roads like I do, that's for sure. And $100,000 homes we used to have, now we got $1 million homes, so there have been a lot of changes in the town of Wilton. With the emergency squad, I was the first liaison to the squad way back a long time ago. Our helipad over at the Ballard Road firehouse, Gavin Park, I was on the ground floor with Gavin Park for building the roads, and so I've had a career that I've enjoyed. Thank you to all the town board members, Ryan, our engineer, Maria, the controller, Mark, he's not here, but I've had a lot of help, a lot of colleagues who helped me, and thank you, and you know, enjoy yourself, stay healthy, and my replacement over there, he's having a tough time right now. Not getting a lot of sleep, he said, but get used to that, you know. But anyway, doing a good job, Mike. Thank you.
Good thing you didn't start in the basement like him.
No, you got to do is just get on the phone and say, hey guys, let's go, and off they go. That's good. But anyway, thank you all. Enjoy and stay safe.
Thank you again, Kurt. And for the record, you said you were 7 years old when he started?
I was.
And I said 3? I meant I wasn't born for 3 years.
I wasn't born for 12.
She wasn't born for 12. And Ray will just wave to you down there.
But by the way, when Kirk spent his last year on the town board, that was my first year ever on the town board, and he and I sat next to each other. I won't say any more stories than that.
I just want to just say one time, when I was sitting next to Ray O'Connor.
See where you started?
That guy,
Glad I brought that
like
up.
around the town board, but every once in a while he'd say, hey, Kirk, I think I'm going to say yes. I said, Ray, I'm a native, I'm going to say no. But we always thought about the town, whatever came first, and thank you for that.
Likewise, Kirk.
Do you have anything else? All right.
Okay, 7. CDF?
It's marked as the...
CDF gym purchase agreement is going to require a motion.
Yep. Just in case everyone isn't familiar with the background on it, many years ago, after the passing of a sweet young man in our community, Christopher Daly, his mom and dad started a foundation, the Christopher Daly Foundation, and they wanted to build a gymnasium. And they worked with the town at the time to build a gymnasium in Gavin Park. And the way that the deal worked was the town leased a portion of the land to the Christopher Daly Foundation. They built the gym on it and then leased it back to the town. And there was a standing agreement in place for decades now that called for, at some period in time, that the town would purchase the gym from the Christopher Daly Foundation at the cost of $10. I believe it cost more than $1 million to build that gym. So town's getting a pretty good deal from the Daly family and the Christopher Daly Foundation. The contract of sale has been reviewed by our council. I spoke with our insurance carrier. There's an indemnification process with the acceptance of that property, and that has been taken care of as well. So the only thing left to do is to pass a resolution, and I'll run through it very quickly. Whereas Wilton is the current owner of real property known as Gavin Park in the town of Wilton, and whereas Daly is the current owner of the facility known as the Christopher Daly Memorial Gymnasium, located on real property owned by the town of Wilton known as Gavin Park, and whereas there is a ground lease dated July 29, 2005, wherein Daly leases the real property owned by Wilton, and whereas there is a facility lease dated July 29, 2005, wherein Wilton leases the gymnasium owned by Daly, and whereas Wilton and Daly have agreed to permanently cancel the leases above, stated with the exception of those items contained in paragraph 4 of the facility lease, and whereas Wilton desires to purchase the gymnasium pursuant to paragraph 26A of the facility lease with the understanding that the purchase price is $10, And whereas Daley wishes to sell the gymnasium pursuant to paragraph 26A of the facility lease with the understanding that the purchase price is $10. And whereas the parties mutually desire to set forth their understanding in this written agreement and have agreed upon terms and open covenants, conditions, and provisions herein set forth.
And that's good enough. And that's going to require a motion.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. I'd like to announce the resignation of ZBA Gerald Zabala. What do we got? Oh, I'm sorry. That's next. We have a town code revision, road specifications, and Mike and Ryan, if you have anything to add to that.
I think the board's got a copy of the revisions. I think it's time we move forward and upgrade our road specs to bring us in par with some of our neighboring communities.
Couldn't agree more.
So in the email I received, I just had the drawings, not the actual code revision.
Okay.
Not that I won't agree with what you're saying, but I, just in full transparency, have not had been able to read this whole thing.
Yeah, so the board's not just deciding on it tonight, it's gonna be setting a public hearing, you
Oh,
can
okay.
review it and...
Perfect.
Yeah, this is going to go to the county.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So essentially,
We just wanted to touch base on what's going to happen before it goes.
the road profile is changing. The thickness of the binder course, which is the structural base of a road, and also the stone below it is increasing in depth. So the longevity of the roads will be much longer than they last now. And we'll be paving two essentially top courses, 1.5-inch course. So the developers, when they build a road, they're going to put a final top course on the road. And then once they're completed with the subdivision, they'll be putting on another 1.5-inch wearing surface on top of that. So we'll have a 3-inch wearing surface, which is good, because if they ever come through and have to mill it down, then you have that extra layer there to work with. So I think in the long run, this will help the longevity of the roads in the town, and hopefully we don't have to be repairing them as soon as we are now.
Anybody have any questions for Ryan or Mike?
No, I had a long conversation with Mike the other day about the specifications. I understood about half of what he said, 'cause, I'm not an engineer or a road builder, but it all sounded good to me.
I'll make,
I echo that. I've had a lot of conversation with Mike about it. He and I have worked on a couple of projects lately, and definitely we need to upgrade our standards for roads.
I'll make that motion and set a public hearing.
Okay, so this will get referred to the Saratoga County Planning Board
I'll second it.
Yep.
and set a motion for a public hearing on April 7th at 7 PM. And I think Aaron made a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Now we can get to we have a resignation from the zoning board,
These last month.
Gerard Zabala. It's going to require a motion. Gerard moved out of the area.
I'll make a motion to accept Mr. Zabala's resignation.
I'll second that with regret.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion passed. We also have a resignation from the Wilton Planning Board, Ron Sloan, who I believe also moved out of the area.
I'll make that motion with regret, too.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Very good.
passed. And with that, we're going to have an appointment for the Wilton Planning Board to fill the alternate, David Catalfamo, serving the term from 3/4/2022 to 12/31/2025.
He was the alternate.
I'll make that motion.
The alternate.
I'll second it. Yeah, he's going up on board.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think I've been...
Any
somebody will come in
opposed?
as an
None.
alternate, too.
Motion passed. And we need a reappointment for Park and Rec Commission, Aaron Armstrong, to fill the term for 3/4/2022 to 3/3/2025. She is currently on that commission, and that requires a motion.
I'll make that motion. We reappoint, I guess it is, Aaron Armstrong.
I'll second.
Motion, I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, any committee reports?
Just a quick report on the Saratoga County Community Forest Project off of Route 9. A formal committee has been appointed to both create and manage that property. It's going to be owned by Saratoga County, and so there's representation from the County Planning Department as well as from hikers, mountain bikers, hunting community, about every recreational purpose to which that property could put to. Speaking of the Daley Foundation, Mark Daley was out on the property, I think a week ago Saturday, and they're getting involved in the project as well. So it's on its way. We're hoping by fall to have most everything in place to get that project done. Ryan, have you heard anything else that...
No, that was the latest. I think they're looking for funding to facilitate the purchase, but
Yeah.
I suggested he contact you to, did Ethan contact you?
Yes.
Okay.
I sent him a check. Don't send any more things like that to me.
Did you send them mine?
You had some free, cash laying around.
Did you send them mine? Yeah. I didn't get the check yet.
I talked
Thank
with
you, Ray.
Robin at the senior center the other day. They're back open. She's got over 60 seniors, but continuing to keep it in smaller groups. They were very thankful for all the test kits that came over. They've used them, they've distributed them. She was very thankful of Nancy to get them all over there. And then just conversations with Exit 16, just working on a couple businesses possibly to look up in that area.
Nice. I did see her here at the town hall, and she seemed as chipper as always.
She cracks me up.
She is
I
hilarious.
if I'm having a
We're not
bad day, I
going to
just
tell
call
you,
her.
we're not
It
going
makes
to
everything
discuss
better.
what we discussed, but
Yeah, she's great.
Perfect for that job.
Yeah.
did you have anything?
The seniors
Chief?
prefer strawberries over melon. But
Yeah, she was over here while they were eating over there. I'm like, you need to get over there.
she cracks me up.
Anything else in committee?
Nope.
Controller's report, Maria?
Yes, so part one is our budget transfer that we have for 2022. We're moving available appropriation from the buildings salaries to traffic control for retrofitting of flashing beacon signs for LED for Smithbridge Road and Corinth Mountain Road.
Is that
$8,000.
like similar to the signs that are there now, just different light,
Yes.
like
Yes,
little brighter?
I think they're just being
Different, upgraded?
retrofitted to
Okay.
an upgrade, yes.
Okay.
So that is our one budget transfer. for
That's
the-
going to require a motion.
I'll make that motion for the budget transfer.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Amendments?
Part two is the budget amendments. We have a grant that we received, very unusual. Usually grants are received after you spend the money, so they're usually reimbursement based. So last year, we actually received a check ahead of the expenditure. So we received the check, we deposited it, that was December. Now we're in a new year, and we're using fund balance to actually pay for the item because it is already in fund balance as of 2021. So that is our first item. So we're using fund balance, but only because we made the deposit ahead of time before the expense, if that makes sense. Okay. The second item is we are proposing to use ARPA money for the increase in the Wilton Food Pantry grant that we're doing this year. So the $5,000 increase will be covered by the ARPA funding.
And I did speak with them. They are definitely hurting with everything that's going on, and I think it's great that we're able to increase that.
Yeah. Good. I just want to reiterate, I think it was last month's board meeting, I was reading the minutes that Dwayne suggested that they come in during budget season.
Right.
And so we can have that conversation, we can have all of their information and kind of data up to that point, so we can work them into each year's budget appropriately.
Right. Good. So item 3 for a budget amendment is sale of equipment. We sold the 2018 Chevrolet pickup for $8,700 more than what we thought we would, so we're increasing appropriation
Stop it.
for that.
I was bidding against them. They were gonna buy it, they were gonna pay what it was worth.
Good job.
And the last item under budget amendments is
Thanks,
we are
Charlie.
using appropriated fund balance to pay for an excavator, which was not originally budgeted for, and to pay for the difference in what was budgeted for the Western Star. We had budgeted a certain amount of money back in November. We had a rough idea of how much that would be. Of course, everything goes up, and even by February, we have a price increase, so that fund balance is also being used to cover that differential. So those are the 4 budget amendments.
I make a motion that we,
I actually have one quick question on number 4.
Yes.
The reserve balance, is that from the 2022? I thought we used the reserve balance for the paver.
So that was, yes, we did.
Okay.
And then we made another deposit in late 2021
Okay.
to replenish that.
Okay.
So we're using that now.
Where did
No
that come
such
from?
thing as a reserve in the highway fund.
Well, I know, and then but we only left like 20,000 in there, so when there was more, I was just trying to figure out where that came from. That come just from,
Surplus from
Surplus.
2021, yes.
okay. Wow, lucky highway department.
You don't look lucky.
Is that what you wanted to spend it on?
today,
Drive that around?
Any more questions?
That's great.
well, I'm going to make the motion that we accept budget amendments 1 through 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passed.
The third item is personnel. We have, the first 2 items are somewhat similar. Item A is the vacation leave that was lost as a result of a system configuration defect in Paychex when we crossed over to a new platform. It actually did not calculate the forfeiture correctly. So we have 10 employees that were impacted, and we would like to reinstate that, that balance to them. This is going to cause people to have balances that may exceed their typical carryover balance. So that's why we're asking for board approval to do that. And then also, I'm recommending a grace period of 6 months so that the employees can use it within 6 months. I think that's reasonable, but I'm open to any other suggestions.
Has Paychex figured that out?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we had that corrected. It took about 6 weeks or so, and it finally, all the
Okay.
dust has settled and everything is working perfectly.
Okay,
Thank you.
good.
6 months from today,
From today, right, from passing the
we're
resolution, yes.
talking
So if they don't use it within the 6 months, they're going to lose it.
Correct.
September.
Let's say March. So they have all summer.
Right. You should give them that time.
All summer, and it's not winter.
Well, the problem I see with that, the only problem I see with that is really the highway department, because they're paving during them months, and their off time would probably be right when that's done and right before winter, so
Does that affect a lot of highway guys?
Just a couple were highway.
I'm not, I mean,
Mike, do you think it's reasonable, 6 months for those guys to use that time?
I'm not sure who it affects in highway or how much time we're talking about.
so if we go to November, I think would be perfect.
Mike, and how much of an impact would that be on you if paving?
So it's 8
I'm not
months.
sure who it even affects.
Right.
I don't know. It might
Oh, so depending on what role, what position they,
Yeah, but
where they're at, I got
to
you.
be on the safe side, if we just move it to November, I think we're good no matter what.
When
8 months?
Yeah,
When do they?
it's only another
have to use it
couple of
up by
months.
Yeah.
Normally.
Typically, it has to be used before their anniversary date.
Okay.
Well,
Higher date.
Right.
So they're staggered all over the place.
Correct, and that's by design. This way,
Yep.
not everyone is struggling to use vacation at the same time before the end of the year.
So not everybody takes off the week between Christmas and New Year?
Exactly. Exactly.
we want to go to November.
Yeah, I'd be comfortable going to November. I'll make that motion.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll
We'll
second.
do them separate then. All in favor?
Aye.
And that's for A.
8 months.
Personnel A.
So we're going to go to November instead of
8
6
months. from
8 months.
today.
8 months.
Very good, thank you. The second item is related to vacation and sick leave, actually included. we had made a board decision in May of 2021 to increase the number of hours that the park personnel were going to be working for the maintenance staff only, but they were going from a 7-hour day to an 8-hour day. So I had thought that that was a temporary kind of arrangement until we saw how that worked.
Actually worked well.
So it's working well. So now we're going to propose that their vacation and sick leave are computed based on an 8-hour day, retroactive to when the board allowed them to start working 8-hour days.
I would certainly like to keep it the way it is. It's actually working. But anybody,
Now, when we
I'm
go-
there all sorts of odd hours, and there's always somebody there.
right,
It's kind of nice to have a presence there.
When we go retroactive, is it going to put some employees in the position that they're going to be over on their vacation?
Yes, and some of those employees already
They're already on
in
the,
category A that we just.
Okay.
So we could do a similar thing where we say,
extend them to,
Right,
what do we?
November.
Did we-
8 months.
Yeah, give them
Yeah,
the 8 months as well.
give them
whoever-
give them the same.
whoever. Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
So that's going to require a motion on B.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Definitely no to the next
And
one.
lastly,
No, absolutely.
No
not.
way.
No.
Gotta go
our
into
tax
this.
collector, Sue Baldwin, is requesting overnight travel to attend a regional meeting for the New York State
This is where I go.
Town Clerks Association on March 20th, and it requires overnight travel, so that requires board approval. Interesting to note again, the New York State Town Clerks Association is picking up the tab for travel and lodging.
Oh, nice.
I'll only prove it if I can go.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, so let's all go.
I'll make that motion.
Where's Altmar?
We're all going to be clerks.
Oh, okay.
Just change.
Wait, never mind, Syracuse.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'll make a motion.
It's still winter out there, March 20th.
I'll make a motion to approve our town clerk to attend the regional meeting of New York State Town Clerks Association.
Second, anyone? Somebody better. All in favor?
Second, I thought I made the original one, yeah. I'll second. Of course.
Motion passed. And that concludes our meeting and
Well
motion
done.
to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Wow.
Out of here.
Who's
Thank
gonna
you
tell
all
John
for-
Lant we were done in 29 minutes?
Opposed? I oppose
Tell John Lance to stay in Aruba.